everyone, welcome to my show. Be sure to hit like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch for all my exclusive content. Good morning, everybody. I have a quick video here for you that I wanted to put out that's really not so much intended for the players, although I do welcome your feedback on this, but this is, as aptly titled, this is a Dear Scopely video. What I have here today are a short list of things that need to be updated in the game. Don't really require any extra programming or anything like that. These should be quick fixes. These are low-hanging fruit that will actually have a good PR visibility aspect of it that will help the players when, morale's a little low right now with some of the changes going on in the game. These new PvP changes, these new officers that are being released. People aren't exactly thrilled right now with the direction the game's going in. And we all know what's waiting on the horizon here. Whether it's next month, November, December, at some point in time, there's going to be an increase. I won't call it like, oh, there's a G6 meta coming. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you're doing. But at some point, there is going to be an increase in the level cap. That's been apparent for about 6+ months now. That's the direction we've been moving in. And you can see that by the incremental way that events have, new releases and things like that have been at a gradually increasing ops level, intended to move players along, to get players out through the mid-30s, get players into the early 40s. And the key reason that they would want players in the early 40s is so you can raise the level cap above 60, because anybody who's 61, 62 can't hit 39s anymore. 60 can currently hit down to 39. They don't care if you camp at 39 because the 60s can still kill you. But if we're going to raise that level cap above 60, now we need players in their 40s. But these are actually some ways that you can do it to help players get there faster, which is what you ultimately want. We know that's what you want. And we want it too. We do want to keep moving up in this game. We do want to keep growing. So here's a few low-hanging fruit, easy to program suggestions. These are not all my ideas. These are things we did crowdsource on live Twitch streams. And the players agreed that would be really helpful. That would be really helpful. So let's try and knock out a couple of these things before we move any further. And, we can help some players catch up faster. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. I don't have any fancy graphics or anything. Just going to go like, hey, it's number one. I got a top 5 list. If we have time, maybe we'll throw in a couple others. There's a lot of things on this list, but I'm not going to do all of them. So, number 1. Speeding up the game for lower levels. This is a no-brainer. Every game does this, right? You keep producing higher and higher end game content. Take a game, World of Warcraft, wildly successful, right? It's been around for over a decade at this point, probably 15 years at this point. Every time they release new content and new things like that, they raise their level caps, or they release a new class, and you have to start over from level 1, right? That kind of sucks. So what did they do? They continually decrease the amount of experience you need to level up. And I think it's about time we did something like that in this game. So here's my suggestion. Leave levels 1 through 10 alone. Don't do anything about those. That's where all your sponsorships they always have to hit to get their payouts. They've got to get in the game, they've got to get through like level 5, then they got to get to level 10, then they got to build an Orion Corvette. And that's what the sponsorship then pays them out. And it doesn't take that long to do. It's like 24 hours of actual, game time or whatever like that. Maybe not even that much over the course of like a week. It's not even that much game time. It's like real life time. Very easy to do. But after that, things do start to slow down a little bit. So, for Ops 10 through 25, decrease the cost of everything in the station. All station modules, levels 10 through 25, slash them by 25%. We're talking about crystal, gas, ore, par steel, titanium, dilithium, and most importantly, construction speed. Slash them all by 25%. Players will move up through the early teens and into the mid-20s a heck of a lot faster. For 26 to 34, do the same thing by 10%. It's a slight little reduction, but it will drastically increase players' abilities to move up through the early stages of this game. Last year, I did a whole tutorial series, tracking my journey, free to play, Went from 0 to 34 in 6 months. Took me about another month to have enough faction credits to build my G3 Epic ship, which I got in month number 7. If we make this adjustment here, players will probably get there in 4 to 5 months. That's a big benefit. That's a big win. Now you've got players who are more able to engage in the new content you're creating, because almost all of the new content over the last couple months has all been 35 plus, if we're being honest about it. Everything this year, most of the things this year have been 35 plus. Talios, Titan, you know, Monavine, other stuff that I'm forgetting right now because I didn't write it all down. But that's where, obviously, the direction has been trending, so let's get players there faster. And if you're looking at this from strictly a dollar standpoint, well, if players get to 34 faster, they'll have less time to accumulate faction credits, which means when they want to build that Epic Augur Enterprise D4, they may not have enough faction credits saved up, and they might have to actually make a pack purchase in order to do that, to get that ship that they want. And everybody, probably half the people start playing this game, right? They start playing because they want to build the Enterprise. Well, if I'm, 50,000 faction credits short and I'm only sourcing 1,000 a day, or whatever the case is, maybe those players make a purchase because they're probably not buying a lot of other stuff to move up that quickly, unless you're on like a new server and you're one of those alpha whales who just wants to get to 39 before anybody else does. But that's not really the norm. So that's number one. Let's speed things up for lower level players. Let's get them into the 30s. Let's get them to the new content. At 34, you've got the refinery boost that kicks in, the upgrades you made, the enhanced payouts. So that's going to help players continue to move through the 30s. Let's get them to that point a lot faster. And I think that's a good way of doing it. That leads me into number 2. Since players already move up, a lot faster, and they're going to move up even more quickly, let's make some adjustments to Cosmic Cleanup. Currently, you've got the Franklin, the Discovery, and the Vidar that you source 10 blueprints every Saturday through Cosmic Cleanup. And I know this has been already adjusted a little bit because at some point in time, we used to only have Cosmic Cleanup during the 3 months of the storyline arc, and the week or 2 weeks in between, we didn't. Now we have it every Saturday, thankfully, which did help some players speed things along a little bit. But, 17 to 21 used to take a little bit longer, and we're trying to make it faster. 21 to 25, these aren't 10-week time periods. If I hit 17, I'm going from 17 to 25 in less than 10 weeks. I don't have time to use Cosmic Cleanup to source these 3 specialty ships. And I doubt, seriously, that a lot of people are buying them from the actual store. If anything, most people are just waiting for an end of store arc, and they're using their currency, whatever loot currency they have, to pick up a Discovery, to pick up a Franklin, maybe to even pick up a Vidar, depending on where they are. This is the one people usually recommend everybody save for. Save your Cosmic Cleanup tokens. Move from 17 to 25 as quickly as you can. Get to 25. Start building your Vidar. You can circle back to these afterwards or source these through an event store when we have one at the end of the month. We know you're willing to make changes to this kind of stuff because you've already done it. You did it with the Devore. The Devore used to only be available in this fun little bundle. Where is it? Nope, it's in the 30-day chests. This used to be the only way to source the Devore. 30-day loyalty chests. You get 10 of these. You need 120, so it takes you 12 months to source the Devore. That's what I had to go through when I was coming up, or buy it. Now you've got an event. Once players hit Ops 23, every Monday they do an event. They get 30 Devore blueprints, so they get it in 4 weeks. It's not even like it's 10 a week. It's 4 weeks. It's bam, here's your Devore. Get going. Get moving. Why not do something similar for Cosmic Cleanup for those 3 early level ships? change the BP payouts on them from 10 to 25. Change it to a limit of 4. So players can only source one Franklin, one Discovery, one Vidar. And let's get these ships in the hands of the players at those earlier levels. That's item 2. Item 3. The 6-hour events. These, well, you know what? Hang on. I'm going to come back to that one. No, you're right. Now I'm going to keep going with that one. We're already here. We're already talking about it. Rough edit. Oops. I don't edit videos. Our 6-hour events. There's a disconnect with these events for players who move above Ops 39 and into the 40s. And I'm going to show you here in just a second. If you're in your 20s and 30s, these events pay out 3-star materials. If you're in 50 plus range, these events pay out 5-star materials. This is a bad example. These events pay out 5-star materials. But players in the 40s for these events are not getting 4-star materials. This slows down their progression and makes players less motivated to move above 39. Because if I know for my events I'm not going to get 4-star materials and I want to hit the ground running, I'm going to camp at 39 longer. I'm going to level up a couple extra Mayflowers and whatever and scrap some ships so I have a good surplus of 4-star materials. So when I get into the early 40s, I can start moving through those building upgrades and things like that. I've got a little surplus of uncommons and rares stacked up because pop over here to my Ops 41 account. Should be getting 4-star materials. Lord knows I need to spend them. I'm over here if I'm doing, there's a lot of events, hang on. If I'm doing a limited time station upgrade event, I'm upgrading station modules, spending 4-star materials to compete in a leaderboard style event that for winning it, I get a bunch of 3-star junk. This does not motivate me to move up. This does not motivate me to even attempt to complete these events. All this motivates me to do is wait until Saturday, because there's going to be an officer auction on Saturdays most weekends. I will just sit tight, not progress, and wait for said event, and then I'll push out a couple of station upgrades instead of continuing to grow during the week, during the off weeks, during the in-between arc periods. Players stagnate. And these events might be a little bit of a part of it. If the rewards in here were better, especially for those players in the 40s, they might actually do the occasional upgrade from time to time and keep things moving along. 1 or 2 of the events do pay out 4-star materials. The majority of them do not. Why is there an inconsistency between them? I don't know. But it should be an easy thing to fix. And the players will thank you for it. That takes us to number 4. See, we're just flying right through these. These are easy. These are low-hanging fruit, right? What's number 4? The recruit chest. The Ultra Recruit Officer Bundle chest right here currently has 26 epic officers and 52 rare officers in it. It is incredibly saturated, diluted, whatever particular word you would like to use, and it makes it very difficult to source any of the officers in here on any type of consistent basis. So here's the suggestion for improvement. Split it. You just did it with Crucible of War, right? You split the Crucible of War recruit bundle into 2 separate bundles. You put Leslie on one side, you put Hendorf on the other. You put so-and-so over here and, Pike over here and Kirk over here. You can do the same thing with this bundle. 26 epic officers, 52 rares. Plus, I'm sure there are others that there's no sourcing for that you could then add in here. So let's split this. Let's take this, cut this in half, fluff it out with a couple of people that I'm sure are missing, like Harrison or Data or, other Jean-Luc Picard. Put Picard on one side, put Pike on the other. Which one do you want? Go get one. It's an easy thing to do. You've already shown the willingness to do it. Players will be able to source at officers on a consistent basis. And, as Pike goes, or Picard, but really as Pike because he's the one a lot easier to source. As Pike goes, so do players in terms of advancements. If you don't have a solid Pike, Moreau, Chen crew, you are not moving up very quickly because your ability to kill hostiles the increasingly more difficult hostiles that you need to complete dailies and missions and events, because events are all based on your ops level. So you need to keep growing with your officers. And when you have bundles like this that have a ridiculous amount of people in there, it makes it more difficult than it needs to be. And as long as we're talking about that, I'm going to throw in a tiny little honorable mention here, because players have asked about this. Field training, this ship one right here, for players who transferred servers, this build the Orion Corvette or complete the Orion research node one, still broken. This is, right here, smack dab in the middle. So there are like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a big chunk of milestones right here that players who transferred servers are unable to complete that could have sourced them a large amount of Pike and Moreau shards. Shards that would help them continue to grow and progress a lot quicker. There are players in their mid-20s, upper 20s, who still do not have Pike unlocked because of the diluted sourcing and the ultra recruits and their inability to complete this field training. Can we get a fix for them, please? It's been, 9 months since this thing has rolled out? Thank you. All right, see, we're just flying right through these. These are easy. These are relatively low-hanging fruit, like I said. Which brings us to number 5. The bonus refinery. The bonus refinery was great. And for players in their 20s and low 30s, it's pretty solid. But once you get to 34, it has a significant drop-off because the bonus refinery, while it has the advantage of not paying out commons and only paying out uncommons, rares, and or epics as appropriate, all of the bundles cost double what a normal bundle would cost, but the payouts are no longer appropriate because it used to be, hey, I'm paying double, I'm not getting commons, but I'm still getting the same amount of uncommons and rares, or even slightly more uncommons and rares than I would have a chance at in a regular pull. But that's not the case anymore. There was an enhancement done at Ops 34 to boost the payouts of the refinery for players. And then at Ops 35, you went ahead and gave us this handy-dandy Bajoran faction store with these wonderful favors down here that drastically increased the payouts of G4 and G5 materials for players. So now my options are spend 100, I don't know, I'm calling out numbers, 150,000 G4 material, get a 3 chest pull, and get 300 or 400 uncommon crystal gas ore because of these enhanced refinery payouts. And then the bonus refinery comes along and it's like, great, pay 250,000 for a chance at like 75. Like, that's not really a bonus anymore. I mean, it's a bonus because it's an extra pull, but it only shows up for like 2 days at the end of every month, or actually now it's the beginning of the month because I don't know why. I think you forgot and you just rolled it over a couple extra days. The bonus refinery is using the old loot tables. Let's just call it what it is. That's what it's doing. Can we tweak that? Can we enhance that to bring it up to current, or just add a line of code so that any enhancements through research get factored into the bonus refinery. So for players who have these, they get rewarded by getting the extra payouts and their bonus refinery. And for players who don't, well, it's an incentive to get there faster, isn't it? Wow, I can get so much more out of my bonus refineries if I get to 35 and I do my Bajoran favors. Get to 40, start paying out that 4-star materials. And now I know I've got an enhancement coming from my Bajoran faction store. So now I'm going to get even more 4-star materials. That's going to help me continue to grow and move up. I might be more incentivized to move up from 39 if I know I've got these other sourcing mechanics available to me. Just a few thoughts. One last one. We'll throw this in as an honorable mention number 2. The subspace relay building. Currently, we're only sourcing these through incursions, and as you can see, it's woefully behind every other thing. While I would love to have an increase in these or a daily claim like we have for the armory, like we have for the treasury, just to have a daily claim for this to pay out low lumps. You can still give us more during incursions because a lot of us have a lot of levels to catch up on, but compared to other buildings like this hull health bonus, this was supposed to be huge when this was released. Oh my god, we're getting so much more hull health. But the sourcing for this was so bad, and now we've got so many other buildings that are much easier to source. You can see the armory. I'm at 43 with my armory. I'm getting a huge, compared to the other one, it's almost triple. And then we factor in all the other buildings that also do hull health bonuses now. What's it? It's the artifact building? Yeah, the artifact building. This one sources a heck of a lot quicker too. This one's in the 40s. I think I bought a pack to upgrade this one, but still. The incentive was there. Hull health bonus, getting 500%. It would be awesome if this had an increased or a daily claim to help move this building along faster. But even if you don't want to do that, at the very least, can we source a static event? Can we just program a quick, when players hit Ops 25 and they can actually build this, can we source for them a gift chest to pop up that gives them the key to actually build it? Because there are a number of players in their mid-20s who have competed in incursions. They're 25 plus, right? They competed in incursions. They are getting these upgrade keys, but they don't have the initial key to build the stupid building to begin with. So they have this currency that they can't use, and they don't know how to get the building. And they come on my stream and they ask me, how do I get this building? And I say, put in a customer service ticket and ask customer service if they can source you the key. And then, customer service takes 3 to 4 days to get back to them. Sometimes their turnaround time is better. But on average, it's 48 to 72 hours, right? And they come back and say, oh, yeah, okay, you're at the appropriate ops level. Here you go. We're going to send you a gift chest with the key in it, or we put the key in your inventory. You should be able to build this now. Why add more work for customer service? Why make players wait? Just program in an auto-populated, whether it's a holodeck mission or just a gift chest. You hit Ops 25, congratulations. As soon as Ops 25 is complete, bam, gift chest, spawn, what's in it, subspace relay key to build this thing. Done. You can circle back to increasing the sourcing for this at another time, but let's at least get players to building. All right, that's it. Like I said, low-hanging fruit. Simple, easy to implement changes. Shouldn't really break too much other things. Shouldn't take a whole lot of time and attention away from developing new content. Shouldn't really hurt you in any aspect of the revenue department, because most of these things are not things that players are really spending a lot of money on. Or at least in my opinion, or my assessment, or my understanding of the players I've talked to, the players I talk to on Discord, on Twitch, players who comment on my YouTube videos. These are things that I'm hearing. These aren't things that I'm hearing from people who, are spending lots of money on packs and things like that. So I don't think it's going to hurt your revenue generation model. but it will help improve your overall game experience for your players, and especially for new players coming into the game, joining all those new servers that you keep opening, going through those sponsorships that we keep seeing on Twitch. They're sponsored streams every day, right? How do we retain some of those players longer? Maybe making some of these changes is the way to do it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you take some of these suggestions under advisement. If you don't like them, you can speak to my chief negotiator. That's this guy. Please lodge all complaints with him. And I'll see you around the galaxy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.